Hey, Ryan Black here, and welcome to the next video in the series, which is all about what to actually say when you start the conversation. So if you haven't watched the last two, it's probably a good idea, right? We've got to be coming from the right mindset, that's video one, and we've got to know how to actually stop a girl who's moving so that we have the best possible chance of actually getting her attention and being able to even start this conversation. So now we're there, we've stopped it correctly, go back and watch those and actually implement them before you actually come to this one, otherwise there's no point in it. So we need to do a few things. What I thought I'd do first is just show you some examples, right? So you can kind of start to work out maybe what the structure is and what's going on, and then we'll cut away from that and I'll break it down piece by piece for you. So let's just take a look at me doing a few of these approaches and the pacing and the structure and what I'm doing, and then we'll come back and I'll break it all down for you. See you in a sec.
Excuse me, don't take this the wrong way, but I just noticed you walking past.
Okay.
And I just noticed you walking past.
Yeah.
And you look amazing, and I just wanted to meet you.
Alright,
What's your name?
Saskia.
Excuse me, don't take this the wrong way, but I just noticed you walking past, and you look amazing, and I just wanted to come meet you.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Crystal.
Excuse me, I know this is a bit random. I just noticed you passing by, and you're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to come meet you. What's your name? Ryan.
Nice to meet you.
Great, so there you saw a few examples of that stop, and you can see that it's a very direct move. It's a really direct way of stopping a girl, and it backs up exactly what we're about to say. So, what do we say? So I break the day game opener into 5 steps. And just to be clear, this is not a line, this is not a routine, this is not an exact script you have to say. One of the worst things you can do is just keep saying the exact same thing to every single girl you see because you've gotten to the habit of using it. You know, somebody told you, you saw in a video, some coach told you, just say this thing, and you just keep saying it over and over. It stops being authentic, it stops being genuine, the girl can feel it, and you'll start getting much worse reactions. So I break it down into 5 pieces, and each one of these pieces, the point is, it's a framework, it's a structure, and you must, as quickly as possible, put your own words into the structure. You must put what you're attracted to about her into the structure. You must put the exact situation you're in into the structure. You must use your own kind of language, the way you talk. Because if you'll notice, the way I do it and the words that I say, the way Sasha does it, the words that he says are completely different. There's things that I would say that Sasha would never say. There's things that Sasha would say that I would never say. And that's the point. That's good. But we're using the same framework. We're using the same structure. That's what's important. So number 1 is very easy. You need to, as soon as you get in front and stop, you need to see that second leg just kind of take one more step and then fully stop. Then we have her attention. Until you have that attention, there's no point in doing the rest. If she's still kind of walking away, then it's best to do your best and continue, but you may have to wait and reopen, because what we want to see is that energy just drop and her look up expectantly, in her mind wondering, oh, what is this? Right? She's not afraid, she's not jumping back, she's not looking sort of distrustingly like, oh, this guy's about to sell me something. And very importantly, she's definitely not trying to avoid the situation completely. She's not trying to look away and trying to move away before we've even had the chance to begin our opener. So some form of greeting, hi, hello, even excuse me I'll take, but English guys especially, sorry, no sorries. Okay, the last thing we want to do as soon as we come up to a girl who we're just meeting is to apologize for being there, to apologize for like existing. And that word sorry, I tend to see, comes out of guys who have a limiting belief like they're bothering women just by trying to approach them. If you feel like you're bothering somebody just by going up to them to say hi, to start a conversation, then that's telling me that you don't believe that you're really giving value. You don't really believe like you're really giving value. That meeting you is at best an inconvenience rather than something that the average person would actually quite enjoy doing. And that's a limiting belief you need to examine. So that's why that mindset stuff in the previous video is so important. So some kind of greeting, and then number two, what we do is what we call a preframe. That was invented by a guy called Marcus Oki, who I highly recommend. We spend an hour just doing this structure, and I don't want to get into it in too great detail, but I'll show you some examples of it when we cut back to some infill footage, so you'll see what I mean. But a preframe is basically just helping her get used to the situation. It creates a bit of curiosity, builds a bit of tension, and it's really important to have some kind of preframe before you actually deliver the rest of your opener. So some kind of greeting, some kind of preframe. Number three is an explanation of something about the situation. So this isn't always necessary. You'll notice in some of Sasha's and Fields, he doesn't always use it. He jumps straight from preframe to the next step, which we'll get to in a sec. But I like it because it does a few things. Number one, it builds more trust, more understanding in her about what's going on. Right? It makes it clear, like, oh, I just saw you. So an example of the situation is just, oh, I was passing by and I saw you there, and, right, that's it. Or you're in a cafe, oh, I saw you sitting there reading your book, and I thought I would, right? Just a little phrase that indicates what's going on. Because remember, what we're fighting against is salespeople and people trying to take value. So this situation is really cool because it helps her understand, oh, this couldn't possibly be a salesperson. He's just a normal guy that saw me and just felt like he wanted to speak to me for some reason. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I'm intrigued. Right? So it is a useful thing to put in there, especially when you're doing things like approaches during the day where you kind of have to explain what's going on. Like, she may have never experienced this before. So it kind of makes sense to kind of be like, oh, well, this is what's happening, so that she can become calm and kind of be understanding rather than starting to freak out, like, I don't know what's going on here. So number three is some kind of situation. Now, we're almost there. Number four is finally what we're there for. And number four is some kind of compliment. So notice, right, we've kept the compliment back until 4. And this is really useful and really important. This is something that I kind of drill into guys and is a really useful mindset to think about. Being direct and saying what we feel does not mean blurting out the first thing that sort of comes to mind. Right? It doesn't mean you see a girl and you walk up and you're just like, you're hot, just immediately. And the reason we don't do that is because this is about not just like saying the first thing that comes to mind or just expressing ourselves. It's about doing it in the most effective way. Right? It's about doing it in a way that's going to create as positive an emotional impact on her as possible. And if we start with our compliment, then we lose the opportunity to really have as much of an impact. And that's because, girls are walking around, they're kind of on their phone, they've got their headphones on, they're kind of in their own world. So the first few things that we say, which again is why some kind of greeting, a pause, some kind of preframe, a pause, some kind of situation, and a pause is really useful because it's just bringing her to that present moment so that she can actually take it in. The first thing we say, probably she won't even hear it. So if we say our amazing compliment right at the beginning, she'll be like, wait, what, sorry, what's that? And we've lost the opportunity to have that emotional impact. So it's not just saying what we feel, it's saying what we feel and communicating it in the most effective way. So that's why compliment is actually number 4. We're almost done. And I want you to think about, if you're writing notes here, what do you think is the worst compliment, or at least worst type of compliment? What would the worst kind of compliment be? And maybe A lot of guys don't get this. Most guys don't get this. So some might say, oh, some kind of thing which is like an insult or like a neg. It's definitely not a neg, guys. No negging. We're not doing that. That kind of stuff anymore. But it's not an insult, like the worst type of compliment. And for me, the worst compliment you could give is, you look nice, or you look really nice. Why do you think that's so bad? The reason for me is a few things. Number one, think about it. Imagine if there's a girl that you're really interested in. Nothing's happened yet, but you'd love to date her. And you're not sure what the situation is, you're not sure if she likes you. And one day you're sort of passing by somewhere and you overhear a conversation. Maybe she's sitting in a cafe with a friend of hers and you kind of pass by and she doesn't notice you. So you kind of go around the corner and you're listening into this conversation, right? Wondering, oh, maybe she's going to say something about me. Maybe she's going to reveal something that's going to help me find out if I've got a chance with this girl. And indeed, you are the subject of conversation, and you're listening in, and she's like, oh yeah. And you hear her say, yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. Would you feel happy? Would you be like, oh, I've got a chance. I've got a shot with this. Or would you be like, oh no, she thinks I'm a nice guy. Right? So if you wouldn't be too happy with being complimented that way by a girl that you're interested in, then why would she be excited to hear that kind of compliment from you? Right? If you're interested in her. The problem with it is that it's too general, and it's basically trying to hedge your bets. It's saying, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to, maybe make her think I'm putting her on a pedestal. I don't want to be too much. I don't want to be too crazy and over the top. And I want like a compliment that I could just say to every girl, so I don't have to think about it. So I don't have to think about what I actually like about this girl. I can just say anything and it'll always work. And the problem is, the more you try to hedge your bets, not just in this, in life, the more you try to appeal to everybody, the more you try to play it safe so that you can make sure that you never offend anybody and nobody can take you the wrong way, the less impact you'll have on people. The more lukewarm responses you're going to get. That's the way life is. Right? You need to be willing to be polarizing. You need to be willing to go a little bit too far and have some people actively dislike you in order to have the people that resonate with you and are into you really feel a magnetic attraction towards you. That's the way things work. And this is true of this. It's true of building a business and sales and marketing. It's true of writing books. It's true of everything. So the worst type of compliment is a general kind of compliment you could just say to anybody. So if that's the case, what's the best type of compliment then? Right? What's the best one? And hopefully you're realizing, right, if the worst is that, the best is probably something that's specific, right? Specific to her. And that's what makes it so genuine. That makes it really genuine. And it's very likely that if she's at all interested, she's going to feel something. So what do I mean? What's some examples? Well, this is why it's important to pull ourselves to the present moment, to really take her in and allow her, right, that space to walk past before we turn around, because we have all that time to really look at her up and down, to see what her eyes are like, to see what kind of expression she has on her face, to see how she's moving, to see how she's dressed, to start imagining what her story might be, start imagining what her dress indicates, what kind of job she might have, if she might be studying, if she's wearing sort of yoga clothes, like that she's into her health and fitness and she likes to travel and she's kind of a hippie, right? You don't know, but the more you're starting to create that story in your mind based on what it is about her that you're noticing, the better this is going to be, not only for this opener, but also for the conversation that we'll get onto in one of the next videos. So a specific compliment, like you have just this really confident walk and it's really sexy and I just love it, and we'll get on to what the last part is, right? or you have this, dress sense, and it's all really perfectly put together. And I love how I love it when a girl like puts herself together and takes care of her appearance and that kind of thing. It's really good. It's really working for you. Or you just have this amazing energy. There's something about your energy. You're just really positive. Like as I was just passing by and I had to come over, like I just saw this like radiant smile on your face, and I was just like, wow. It's something like that, because any of those, even if they're a bit, long-winded and overblown or whatever, even if you're stumbling over your words a bit, which is totally okay, she's going to really get the sense that, no, you like something about her specifically. There's no way you could have just been going around saying that exact thing to every single girl, and she's going to feel it, if she's at all interested, right? So that's number 4. It's a specific, genuine compliment. And we're almost done, because it's a 5-part thing. So we're almost there, but we've got 4. So here's the thing. What happens if we only go up to 4? What if we just end it there? What's the problem that you can see? So let's say I just go, hey, excuse me. Hi, listen, this may be a bit random, but I was just walking past, and you just look, I just had to tell you, you look amazing. And I just stop. What's the problem with that? Right? Because you've done a lot of good stuff. Right? You used a preframe, you said something about the situation, you didn't apologize for being there, you didn't give her a crappy, nice compliment, you actually said something, she was absolutely amazing. It's all good stuff, right? So, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with it is you're putting all of the impetus on her to know what to do and to continue the conversation. Right? You're just throwing this compliment at her, which is probably unexpected for most women, and then just sitting there and waiting for her to go, okay, I know what to do, and just start asking you questions. Right? It's expecting too much out of her. And as a man, remember, we're the men, we are expected to go first. As a man, you go first. Okay? You make the approach, you say the first thing, you lead her onto the date, you suggest what you're going to be doing, you lead on the dance floor. Everything is about the man leading and being willing to go first. Right? And that is just pre-programmed into us from, the man protecting the woman, right? You're gonna have her behind you, and you're gonna, open the door where you don't know what's behind it. And if there's attackers coming up, you're gonna be the first to go in there and beat off the attackers so you can save her, right? This is what, women want the type of guy to be like. So that ability, that willingness to go first, make the first move, take the first step, is what she's looking for. It's a very attractive trait. So if we just throw that compliment out and then sit there and hope that she knows what to do, most of the time, you know what happens. Right? Maybe you've tried something like that and you're kind of kicking yourself now, because all the time you do all that great stuff, you say, and you look amazing, and she goes, oh, thanks very much, and then just walks off. And you're having to fight against it. You're going, oh, no, wait, and having to think, oh, I need some transition stuff. Well, maybe, but maybe you just need to remember to do step 5, the last step. So here we go, almost done with the opener. So step 5 is really important, and all of this is very simple. We need to tell her why we're there. We need to make it clear about what's going on, like why are we here? And what I call it is the intent. So we just need to make it clear, I'm not here to just give you this compliment. I mean, it's great, and that's lovely, but I'm not just going around giving out random compliments to women and then, bidding them a good day and walking off. That's lovely, and I encourage you on the course of your days, right, build up social momentum, walk around and just be like, oh, hey, cool shirt, bro, and whatever, in your coffee shop, be like, oh, that's a nice thing, whatever, or like, oh, I like your hair today. And just be a nice person and throw out compliments to people. But in this specific situation, you've stopped her, right? You've really got in front and stopped her because you want to meet her. You want to get to know her. You want to find out about her. and in the hopes that she's really cool and you want to spend more time together so that you can exchange contact details or go for an instant date, see each other again, get to know each other more, and eventually begin some kind of relationship, right? Like, that's why you're there. So you gotta express that in some way, because she doesn't know. Again, she has not probably had this happen to her before. So the way to do that is just to end it with, and I had to come meet you. I had to come find out something about you. And what's really cool is if we can link the part 4 and part 5. So if we can link something about that compliment, something about her that we find attractive, with that intent. So for example, we could say, the confident walk example I gave before, really confident walk, really sexy, and I had to find out, are you like a high-powered business person? Did you just make $1 million? Or are you just naturally confident? What's going on? I just had to find out more, right? That's it. It's super simple, but it's actually really powerful. That I want you to go out and use. Don't just sit here and taking notes and nodding and being like, oh, that makes sense. Go out and do it. Comment below. Let me know how it's going. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know your questions. If you don't agree with me, tell me why. I will engage with you. And if you want to make sure you get the next video first, hit the subscribe button below. All right. See you in the next one.